All right, and we're live. Goes live right while I'm fixing up the beard right here. Got this little fork in it, but we're gonna rock with it. We'll be fine. It's been a while since I've gone live. Last week we missed. I was out of town, as you guys know, but I'm back. Coaching's back open. Everything's good. Had a good trip. Lots of fun. Had a good time with the family. Where are we at right now? I'm waiting for a few people to come in. There's no cigar today. We got SP here at the house today. It's a Monday, which usually doesn't happen. We're shaking, rocking, and rolling on the fucking cheap-ass desk. But anyway, yeah, she's in another room sick, so I'm not going to light no cigars today. So while she recovers, I will be sitting here doing the live. So it took me a little bit longer than usual today. I had a tight muscle from just all the lifting and then also being in the plane for so long and stuff like that. So I had a tight back, so I went for a massage this morning and cooked some meal preps today. Had to knock out a few, what do they call them? Housekeeping situations. But anyway, I'm here now. While we're still at the beginning, I'll promote this. And probably as people come in, I'll plug it a few times. I do have the membership channel up. It looks like some people aren't seeing it. Seems like on the phone it's hard to see, but you can see it on the computer. So let me know if you can't see it. And if you're having problems getting into the Discord, let me know, because I saw some people joined. But then I saw people weren't able to join off mobile. So I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's because I do everything off mobile, but it should be able to work. But anyway, let me know if you're having problems with the Discord or with joining the membership site, or the membership on the channel. There's a video going to be dropped this week. I've been putting one every week, roughly. This week will be about the psychic, my friend the psychic, and try to get her on the show, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to, so I'll just recount the story the best I can. But anyway, let's jump right into the video. Today's video, experience is the best teacher. It's not what I titled the video, but it's what I want to talk about. Experience being the best teacher. Oftentimes we don't experience anything. We spend all this time browsing online. Oh, I need another technique, another manifesting video. I need to learn something. I need to figure something out. I don't know what to do. This next video is the key, and I've talked about this before, but I think it's just a point to hammer home, because I feel like a lot of Mondays I'm at a loss of what to talk about anymore, because I looked today between shorts, videos, lives, everything. There's 509 pieces of content. This will be 510 pieces of content documenting the journey, the bridge, where I was when it was fulfilled, like my ups and downs, my thoughts and my downs, my thoughts and my ups, my success stories with clients, my success stories with myself. I've made a lot of content on all this stuff, and there were multiple times throughout the 3 years or more that I've done this. I think it's 3 years now. The 3 years I've done this, looking into all these different questions, and it's like there's only so many questions and there's only so much to teach. I mean, we got all of Neville's books right here in this, and I pulled something up before we stopped here. I'm thinking to do some more reading on the channel and stuff like that, but there's only so much you could read. There's only so many videos you can watch. There's only so much of everything that you can do before you have to live it by experience. And anything in life, the best thing is experience. Right now, like I said, I've been studying for my personal trainer exam. Maybe not as hard, but I just got my CPR certification the other day. I'm halfway through my personal training exam. Kind of. I hate studying and reading and stuff like that, but it's like, the thing is, you could read and you could know everything forward and back. Theoretically, you could know stuff, but until you actually get out there and practice it and say, yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm going to manifest this particular thing into my life. I'm going to do whatever the fuck it takes. I'm going to embody that state. I'm going to become that person who has that desire, and I'm going to live that life. Until you make that decision, until you apply those actions and those thoughts and that mental diet, and you get uncomfortable and fight through it, there's not a magic video, book, formula, technique, nothing. It's you at the end of the day. It's you applying what you have learned. So I wanted to put that out there because I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my experiences that I've had. Um, I wouldn't be teaching if I didn't believe in this stuff. And maybe sometimes I feel there's more that I could say, there's more I could teach you. I don't know, half the time it's like I feel like I've put everything out there and I've voiced it the best I can, I've articulated it the best I can, but um, for all intents and purposes, I will continue to put out content, to continue putting videos, taking clients, doing whatever I can to help people. So that was the promise I made God when the whole SP manifestation came in. I said, all right, if there's something to this, I will, I'll teach people about it. I'll stick with it. And it's like I proved something to myself, and I didn't really give myself a way out. It was like whether I'm going to be sitting here waiting to have this specific person forever, or I'm going to be alone forever. There was no in between. It's like, okay, those are the only two options. So the only way forward is through. And it's like only thing I had to control of was my mind. The outside circumstances were stacked against me. And same thing when it comes to my job I have, same thing it comes to online presence and making videos, same thing with anything I've ever done in my life. A lot of times I've always loved underdogs because I felt like an underdog in life. And um, there's a romanticism to it to a degree, and I like it to a degree, but it's like, okay, when you don't have a way out and you're like, okay, I'm going to figure this out, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. You're not sitting there asking questions about, is this the right technique? Am I doing something right? Am I doing something wrong? A lot of times those thoughts come to you, am I doing something wrong? Because you're checking a clock or a timer and you're worried about how long something's taking. And statistically for me, everything always happened relatively quickly. Not all the time. There's still some things that I visualized a long time ago that have not played out, but I've gotten close to them, or they've played out in a similar way, but I haven't counted them yet because it's not exactly what I want. So I'm not worried about those things coming to pass. They will come to pass when they need to be. And it's something I'm not exactly pushing forward. It's like live or die, I need this. Nothing should be that way. Nothing should be, oh, live or die is all I need. But knowing, okay, this is what I want. I will have it. It's going to work out. I trust, I have faith, and I'm going to power through this, and everything in between. That's the part a lot of people, that's where you come to a coach. That's why people ask me questions, is what to do in the in between when your manifestation is not physically there. And the thing is, you don't need it to be physically there. It's like, I feel most days like I've won the lottery of life. Am I the most rich person? Nope. Am I the most in shape? No. Do I have the perfect life? To me, yes, but to some other people, it would be like, no, everything's relative. But I feel really good. I love my life. And that's the point I think that we all need to get to. Because if you can't love your life and enjoy where you are in the moment and enjoy the journey of getting there, then you're not going to be happy when you have what you're desiring. Oh, I need this. I need this. Okay, well, what happens when you get it? The grass is always greener on the other side. You're always chasing. You're always wanting something. And yeah, you could always have a desire. You need a desire. Desire stokes the flames of life to make you want to do something, to push you to be a better version of yourself. And most of the time, all this stuff starts because of a specific person or a relationship or something, and that's fine. But the true essence of all of it is the better person we become on that journey. And I'm really happy about who I've become throughout this whole journey and the meaning that has fulfilled my life because of it. And I want to thank all you guys who have stuck with me through all this. So I appreciate you guys being here and helping me add to who I saw myself to be. And, in a way, it was not the way I thought my life would pan out, but the core essence and the feeling is the same. When I wanted to do acting and bodybuilding and all these other things, which I haven't given up on, but I'm not necessarily practicing all those things. I mean, my gym schedule is way slack the fuck off. There's no direct, bodybuilding show online. I haven't done stand-up in a long time or written a skit in a long time or, step behind the camera other than to do these videos. But it doesn't mean that I'm, like I always talk about it, it's like I'm not done, but I just don't feel like I want to do it at the moment. And, like I said, my life is really good. And that's the feeling. And it was like everything that I wanted to do through those mediums, I'm doing through here. And I didn't expect this. I expected to make, like I've told you guys so many times, a handful of videos to help people going through what I was going through. It's like, oh, can you manifest an SP multiple times? Oh yeah, I did that. Can you what was I thinking? Can you manifest a situation where everyone tells you no? Oh yeah, here's something I did that. Can you just do something jokingly and it will come into your reality? Yeah, that happened too. And it's like this whole little batch of videos, the first few videos I made, that was going to be it, and I was going to be gone. But I started seeing an impact, and I was like, okay. And then people started messaging me for coaching and stuff, and I was like, I didn't really want to do it. And it's like sometimes when you're called to do something, it's kind of one of those things. It's like we are creating our own life, but sometimes it feels like there's a little bit of a destiny. So this is the job I feel like it was destined for me to do, but I could still have my desires and do my other things. Just finding the balance is hard. But either way, the feeling of being someone of inspiration, motivation, and positivity in the world, which I thought would come through those other mediums, it didn't come from those mediums. It came from this medium here. But I still lived that life that I wanted, if that makes sense. And let me see. Yeah, I wanted to talk about oftentimes we overthink things too. So it's like in terms of manifestation or where we are in life, I get it a lot from like younger guys in their like 20s, like late teens to early 30s, the category of age I fall into. It's like, well, I should be here, I should be there. Like this didn't pan out this way, or I feel like a failure. It's like, no, what did you learn? You learned something that someone who's younger than you can benefit from. Someone who's older than you can benefit from it. I've got plenty of clients from all different age groups, but you don't overthink things. You focus on what you can do. Like in the moment, it's like you could go to the gym, you could improve yourself, you could write out your goals, you could take steps towards your goals, you could work on a website, you could work on an art project, you could work on something that means something to you in the moment. Those are things that cannot be taken away from you. And if they are, you could give it to yourself in your mind. You can keep putting together. If you can't do a certain project like a film, which requires a lot of people and a lot of money and stuff like that, you could sit there and run it through in your head. Okay, here's what I would do in this scene. Here's what I would do in that scene. Before I made my first short film, I would walk around and I would see, this is a movie scene here. This is cinematography pictured right here. Like this looks like a good movie scene. And it's funny because my film partner messaged me right before I came on this live, and he's like, I still got the eye for it. And it sends me a picture of a really nice frame. And it's like, some of those things don't go away once you embody that character. Any state is like a character to us. You embody who you want to be. If you're a filmmaker, you see art in every little thing of life. You see scenes, you see dialogue, you pay close attention to all those little things. If you're into bodybuilding and fitness and you switch into that personality, that character, everything you eat, you see. It's like, okay, here's my diet. There's a diet and everything that you see calorically, whether it's going out to eat with friends and family or somebody telling you a recipe or something, you pay attention to all that. What muscles are working on certain little things. You got to go lift something at work or helping someone move or something. What, like, hey, you pull a muscle or something. Hey, that's this muscle right here. I can go back to it. And like in the gym, there's a part of your day set aside for the gym. So depending whatever character or person you want to embody, there's no overthinking. It's just, this is what a person like this does, and this is what they have. So whether it is someone who's looking for that perfect relationship, that ideal relationship, that repaired relationship, that job, whatever it is, how would a person who has that think already? That's the simplification of everything. You don't need to worry about, oh, well, I only affirmed this many times today, so it's not going to happen. It's like, if you're worried about how many times you've affirmed, then you're just going to become a better affirmer. If you're worried about how clear the picture in your visualization is, you'll just be better at visualizing things. But the thing is, you want to get better at repeating and repeating and repeating something until you've mastered it, if that makes sense. I think it does, because the chapter I was looking at from Neville today was called times and a half. And, instead of reading the whole thing, I was going to read through it. It's like page and a half, 2 pages of the book. But, somebody gives, here it is, Daniel 12:7. They give they give what's his name? They give Neville the quote from Daniel 12:7, and they ask him what it means. And in there, the term time times and a half is brought up, and they ask Neville what it means. They give the Bible, sorry, fucking stuttered. They give him they want a biblical translation of that term, and he admits that he doesn't know what it is. But a woman in the audience, I'll get her direct quote right there. She said, "If the mind behaves according to the assumption with which it starts, then I will find the true answer to that question and tell it to Neville." So she heard it. She knew that she was more than capable of coming up with the answer, and she said that she'll tell it to Neville. So right away, and something so simple as that, how many times in my life have I just stated, "Hey, this is going to happen"? The job I was at previously, I stated it multiple times, boldly, confidently, and in a joking way because I knew no one would believe it. But in my heart, I believed it. I said the guy who was least likely to leave would be the one to leave the job. I said I would be the one to move up in the job. I said I would work on an afternoon shift for so long and be moved to a day shift. Everything I said to happen was going to happen. And it was just calm and confident. So this woman saw that Neville was tripped up on something, and she reminds me of so many of you guys. Whenever I'm teaching, if there's something I don't know, you guys come to me and give me better examples of stuff sometimes, and I always give you guys credit for it, so I appreciate you. And I see Nan there. What's up, Nan? I know there's been some times where you've given me really good, through our coaching sessions and stuff like that. You've brought up questions to me, and while I was answering, you've given me sometimes the answer that you needed. And it was like, wow, that's actually a more eloquent way to put something than I could have. So this woman sets this intention that she will tell Neville. And what she comes up with was, hold on, let me get you the exact quotes of what she said it would mean. Basically, she has a vision. She can't sleep. She wakes up at 5 a.m, but realizes it's too early. So she goes back to sleep in a drowsy state, once again, asking the question. And so many times I've asked God a question before bed, and it's like, you know what? I don't know what my desire is. I don't know if I should manifest this thing. Give me some guidance and some wisdom and what exactly I should be looking for. She went there with a simple question of what that line means. And a time, the first part of it, a time times and a half. A time means to perform your imaginary act, which implies the fulfillment of the wish. So a time is the starting of our manifestation visualization. It's doing the technique, and they're talking about visualizing, but it's whatever technique works for you. A time is the first part of it, doing it once. Times means to repeat the imaginary act over and over again, because she heard Neville's voice in her dream visualization. And what he said, to quote him, says, do it over and over and over again until it takes on the tones of reality. So again, we're looking for the tones of reality through our manifestation. So a technique done again and again and again will eventually impress the subconscious, where it will take on tones of reality. That's what we're looking for. And then the half means the moment of falling asleep while performing the imaginary act, such as a movement, usually arrives right before the predetermined action is complete, and therefore can be said to be a half or part of a time. Because a lot of times when is someone who is a visualizer or someone who does do affirmations before bed or going to sleep to them, like a lot of times I will hear my affirmations in my sleep. You do something once and you continue to do it, and usually the half is you fall asleep halfway through the visualization, and that is the thing that you do to impress the subconscious mind. And eventually, the more you do something, the more it takes on the tones of reality. Again, manifestation is like a hypnosis of sorts to ourselves. It's a self-hypnosis. I can tell you my take on your desires. I could tell you what techniques I would use. I could talk to you about what techniques you've used, and I could break it down and see which ones might work well for you. I could write you a manifesting plan. I could give you affirmations, but it's your ability to sit there and continuously perform and perform again, but not with an empty mind. A lot of times we're performing things with an empty mind of okay, I got to do this and I'll get this. And yes, it's a simple thought, but you don't know why you're doing something. It's almost like sometimes you just say prayers to say them, and you don't pay attention to the words in them, which is why I've always been, personally, as someone who prays, I prefer to pray in words that I would speak, and instead of a structured one that I don't know what it means half the time. I mean, I do because I've broken the stuff down, but a lot of times we don't pay attention to it. It's not a way that we speak. It's just like, oh, I'm supposed to say this and I'll get this. Same thing with manifesting techniques. Oh, I'm supposed to do this because someone else has done it, so it's going to work for me. And then you just go and do that particular thing until you get whatever you want. And then you're wondering why nothing has showed up. Why am I still struggling? This and that. Because you're doing it with an empty intention. So like this lady, she goes to sleep. Something simple. She goes, I'm going to go to sleep and I'm going to wake up with this thought. She didn't say it's going to take me a long time or I'm ready to begin the process. Like everyone always says, very common thing. Oh, I'm in the process of manifesting a specific person. Oh, I'm manifesting this. I'm manifesting that. Remember, manifesting is an action verb. It's something you're doing something to get something. But if you're always saying that, someone's like, what's up? I'm manifesting this. What's up? I'm manifesting this. It's always going to be something just that far off the radar versus when you see it, I manifested that. Or you see a sign or a bird before land, I manifested that. But you're not thinking when you say like, oh, I manifested that sign. No, I manifested that, and you're jumping right to the scene of what you've already done, if that makes sense. You're not focused on trying to get something. You're focused on, hey, that reminds me of what I'm manifesting. I've already done it. It's done. It's like that the thing I shared where Greg Braden was talking about on Joe Rogan, where he was talking about the in China they were doing the meditation over the woman with cancer, and whatever they were saying in Chinese. I don't speak Chinese, so I don't know the words they were saying, but they were saying it's done, it's done, it's done, and they were chanting it. Eventually, chanting something, repeating something, affirming something again and again and again, might start to lose the meaning in your head. But if you could hold what it means, it's done, it's done, it's done. It's a word that means it's a word and a phrase. It means it's done. What's done? When you think about that, because your brain's going to ask you, you say it's done. Your brain's like, what's done? The woman's cured. The woman's cured. The woman's cured. You could be saying that too, but it won't. And maybe you don't see the cure. It's because you're not picturing the cure done. It's like when you script something and you read it or you write it, you're paying attention to every little detail. You're thinking of the end as you're scripting something. You're thinking of the end as you're reading a script. You're thinking of the end while you're visualizing something. So your subconscious is always impressed. You're always jumping to the end and focusing on what that particular thing is. And basically in that story, you see the woman's cancer shrink down in real time until it's completely gone, which is a crazy story. But it was something simple. They just said, it's done, it's done, it's done. And they saw it being done. Like they used that affirmation to condition their mind to believe that that woman is completely cured and seeing a positive result on the, a negative result, I guess, on the MRI scan. But to circle it all back, it's like oftentimes we don't apply what we learn. We sit here, we learn. We're experts at learning and knowing. It's like I said, like being a personal trainer who's out of shape. Like I've seen personal trainers that look like they just eat fucking garbage all day long and don't lift a weight, but they're very knowledgeable. But would you trust someone with all the knowledge and no results? A lot of times, you see it in the community of like coaches and stuff like that, or other people are like, oh, I'm an expert, but they've never manifested the stuff they've talked about. They don't have receipts. They don't have results. And then you get caught up in the same thing of like, oh, I'm on their program. On a program? You shouldn't be on a program. You should be living your life to the fullest every single day, knowing what you want comes to you. And no matter if it's here or not in the moment, you give it to yourself. You think about that, you don't feel a lack. It's like, you think about your specific person. Oh yeah, that's my girlfriend. Boom. And then right back to whatever you're doing. It's just check. All right. You throw out a name of a friend, a family, or girlfriend, or whatever. To me, it's like you throw out their name to me. My brain makes that connection. This is who they are. So like I said, I was dating my girlfriend before she was my girlfriend. You throw out her name to me. Boom, that's my girlfriend. But then I'm going to continue. My brain makes that connection and continues on the conversation we're on. Continues on whatever I'm doing in that moment. Someone tells you your parent's name, your brain connects, oh, it's my parent, and then they're here and they're doing this and this and this. So it's like a real quick, in a second, your brain jumps to who they are, where they are, what they are, and your relationship to them while still maintaining what you're doing. It's not a trying process. It's just a natural process. And it's hypnotizing yourself into, oh yeah, that's the truth. That's the truth. But you're not telling the other people that. Let's get this all the way. You're not telling other people, hey, yeah, we're in that relationship. Because when you're going to come off crazy, it's something you're selling yourself. Because I could sit there and lie to somebody all day long, right? And then they'll believe what I say. But if I don't believe it, there's never going to be a change in my life. You have to believe the change that you want to see in your life. You have to believe the mental conditioning. You have to believe the manifestation, the self hypnosis, the what do you call it? The self concept, the changing of who you are. You have to believe it before anybody else, because you can get the thing that you want and not be able to hold on to it because you don't truly believe it in yourself. So, like I said, we study all the time, but we don't understand. You're a hearer of the word and not a doer. We want to become someone who practices what they preach, right? And I'm guilty as a coach sometimes too. It's like where it's easy to react. It's like, okay, I could teach the stuff. I know the stuff. I've got the results. I've got documentation. We've got a whole success thing on the Discord. We've got my own book of success stories. I've got all this stuff in my life that could prove that I'm right. But in a moment, a reaction feels natural. It feels better. Just because you react to something doesn't mean it's fucked up. What has been done can be undone, but let's try our best to say, you know what? There doesn't need to be a reaction. There doesn't need to be an argument. There doesn't need to be any of this. I need to focus on feeling good in the moment. Something undesirable presents itself. My knee-jerk natural reaction is to get angry, to snap, to do this, to do that, to say this, to bring up all these nasty negative thoughts and memories. But the cool, calm, collected person who has everything they want is not going to react to it, because imagine if someone tells you something that's very obviously untrue about yourself and you know for a fact it's untrue. You don't react to it. As long as you're a cool, calm, and level-headed person, right? And I'll give you an example of a guy I knew. He great shape, looked like The Rock, but if The Rock was 5'5", I think I've talked about the guy before, he would be set off by people saying you're on steroids. Now, I don't take steroids, and I've never taken them. If someone told me that, I'd be like, oh, thanks. Yeah, you joke around with it, because I really don't care if you think I am or not, because I know the truth in myself. But this dude, who later on in life I realized he probably was on it, but to each their own, who gives a fuck? But it's like, he would freak the fuck out, like, because in his mind there was a value to being perceived as natural, but it really didn't matter whether it was true or not. If you know in your heart it's true, it's not going to bother you. So someone tells you something you don't want to hear, and you know the opposite to be true, you're not going to react to it. So let's put that in the context of the thing they're saying to you is true. You're not going to react to it because the life you're shifting into already has that particular thing or circumstance that you want that you don't have at the moment. If that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. Basically reverse that process. Everything you want now is your reality, but it doesn't matter what the outside world thinks or says or hears or whatever. It's what you think and feel and experience inwardly. And I know a lot of times people don't want to hear it, but I don't know how many times I get out here and preach the same message. All is mind. And everything happens in your mind before it happens in the external reality. So keep looking down. I got some notes. And I got apparently long nose hairs because they're itching. And then I wrote down, two things here. Experience is the best teacher. I wouldn't be a good teacher if it was not for all my failings. I would be a poser. And also, I wouldn't want to be a manifesting coach if I had to choose, like, oh, yeah, here's out of all the things you could do in your life, put yourself out there and talk about stuff that makes you sound fucking crazy, schizophrenic, weird, fringe on the, like, quirky, whatever you want to call it, whatever people don't want to be known as this. There's even times where I'll just say, oh, I'm a life coach, if people ask me, because I don't want to talk about this stuff. But, it's a promise I made to God that I would be a coach and stuff if it helps people and what I believe to be true is true. So I do that, but I wouldn't have the balls or want to do it if I didn't have the experience. A lot of people see, hey, there's money in this shit. And for me, it's like, yeah, there's money and I've made money in it, but I don't hardline for my coaching or anything like that. I'll promote it here and there if I remember it, if I feel like it. I'll go through periods of like, oh yeah, real gung ho businessman on this stuff, and then I'll just stop promoting it and be like, if you know, I've heard stories from clients about other coaches that go out there and they message you like, a session for me is 150 an hour. I had a guy tell one of my clients, he reached out to him and the guy had no results from him, didn't really learn anything. The guy, I guess, was positive or whatever. Dude reached out to him and told him, hey, for $100, I'll coach you for a year or two or something like that. And it's like, when most coaches who get results and do things and know what they're talking about and have been burned and have been through the crucible can sit here and tell you what's what and what to do. And yeah, you're going to experience this probably, and this is going to hurt, and here's how you navigate it. That person could tell you some generic stuff that they heard, they read, or they ripped off someone else's video, and they're in it for the money. And apparently they're not good at it, because if you're good at the law, you don't need to worry about like chasing people down for money. There's people who owe me money still. There's people who have owed me money, and I would just switch like Neville said. He goes, I don't ask people for money. I say, I am perfectly, for me, it was like I was made perfectly whole. And whether it was that person coming up out of nowhere and reaching out to me and like, oh, here's the money I owe you, or from another avenue that I didn't expect more than whatever I expected coming in, I don't limit myself to where the money comes from. I don't limit myself to where my blessings come from. I just say that they're going to come to me, and I know that they are. Just like the woman said, she knew the answer was going to come to her to tell to Neville. She knew what she wanted. She knew her end result. She could feel herself telling it to Neville, and that night she went and experienced it, and she told Neville the next day. So when you just treat something as simple as that, like, I want this specific person, I know it's going to happen. And it might not happen overnight, but it might happen overnight. There's been so many times where I've had a manifesting coaching session with somebody. I mean, actually, one of the last ones I did, the person's SP messaged them during the call, or it's like, we'll hang up a call and I'll get an email and it'll be like, hey, guess what? As soon as we hung up, SP reached out. Or on the Discord, we'll do a group meditation, and the next morning, hey, my SP reached out. We're talking again. Or in terms of a friend of mine who was waiting on a confirmation from a job, he said, I just want to hear something positive about this job. The next day, boom, his desired job that he hadn't heard from for months and thought he was out of the running sends him a message. So it's like, you're not looking. You gave yourself something believable. Is it believable you could get a notice from the job? Yeah. Is it believable it could be something positive? Sure, it could be positive. It can only be positive or negative. It's a 50-50, so wouldn't it be wonderful if it was a positive thing? And then you don't hold on to it. It's like, if you've made it this long without hearing from it, doesn't matter. But then you get the positive news the next day because you're detached. And detachment isn't, I say this a lot, detachment isn't quitting, it's walking in faith. So it's like, there's nothing else I could do besides visualize this in the most positive, happy, neutral state or positive state. I could visualize it like that. I could feel it like that, and I'm going to enjoy it. And next thing you know, boom, it will play out that way because you don't put too much pressure on it. And you might think, oh, I gave up, or I really don't care about it. That's the state you're in with things you already have in life. Someone was telling me about, we were talking about cameras and stuff like that. And I remember we were talking about it today. We were talking about cameras, and it's like a very coveted camera that I wanted that I barely use now. Hardly ever. Maybe once a year I'll break it out. And he said, oh, what kind of camera do you film on? I'm like, well, I got this one, this one, this one. But at one point in life when I didn't have it, it was crucial. I needed it. I can't do any filming without it. It seemed like something so far out, and it's like so far out there, and so makes your chest tighten up thinking about getting it. And it's like, I got to get this much money to get it, whatever. I got to save up, and then this many more checks till I get it. Something I forget I have. That's the state you want to get in with your desires. You almost forget about them because most things in our life we do tend to generally take for granted. I'm not saying take your blessings for granted, but let's go with that Bible line: pray as though you already have something, right? I butchered the saying, but it's like, pray for something as though it is already yours. That's gratitude for something you don't have yet. I'll tell you a quick success story, and I'll condense it down. But long story short, I'll do an actual longer video where I go into like all the states I was in and more about the fighting and stuff like that in my mind. But I just came back from a trip. We're at an Airbnb. was trying to rush the laundry. I only had a few hours till we had to check out. Everyone's sleeping in the house. Me and my brother are up. I go to do the laundry. I put my girlfriend and my mom's clothes in and my clothes in, and I think one of my brother's shirts, and I dry everything. And I didn't pay attention. The last person to use the dryer at the Airbnb I left it on high. I'm so tired. I put it on high instead of medium or light. The clothes looked small, and I kept telling myself, "Well, women's clothes are small. That's why I didn't shrink SP's clothes. I didn't shrink my own clothes." But it's like, and I showed my brother. I was like, "Put this on." And he's like, "It's one of my shirts." Yeah, he goes, and then he goes, "It looks smaller." It's like, fuck. And I know, like, my mom spent money on these souvenir shirts, like, for my girlfriend and myself. And I was like, oh, God damn, I shrunk them and stuff like that. So going to sleep, when I finally went to sleep, I was like, oh, you know what? I fold everything up. Tell my brother, take my mom's stuff to her room, take your stuff. I'll take mine and hers back to our room. And I sat there. I'm like, I started praying. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to switch a lot of my stuff to more religious stuff, because in times of crisis, you switch to religion. You go back to whatever religion that you're really comfortable with, or deity that you're used to praying to. It's like, for me, born and raised Roman Catholic, it's like, okay, I'm going to pray to God and Jesus. And it's like, you know what, guys, I fucked up. Uh, I don't know how this is better, but I guess I'll use revision. And, manifestation is just mediating God on earth most of the time. It's like, when it comes to a specific person, you're seeing them the ideal way through the eyes of God, not through the horrible experience that you've seen. Blind and deafen yourself to your senses. It's like, the things I see and hear are not really real. The things I desire are the things that are here. Like in Our Father, you're bringing heaven to earth. So it's like, okay, well, heaven on earth in this case would have been, these clothes not being shrunk. And I was like, but there's no way. I just saw them shrunk. But then I remembered the story about where I revised about my dad's car being scratched. I'm like, okay, I did that. And then I kept thinking, I'm like, no, if the car was fine and you got your SP back and you guys had so many knockdown blow up fights that, like, that stuff made it, I started thinking, I'm like, okay, I did the same thing I did with the car. It's like, worst case scenario. What happens if the clothes are shrunk? Okay, we're still here till 4 p.m. tomorrow. I could go replace all these things. If I shrunk my mom's nice shirts, well, that just gives me an excuse to buy her even better shirts. If I shrink my SP's clothes, I buy her clothes all the time. I'll buy her something else. Something else even better, or I could find the exact same thing. Can these things be replaced? Yes. So why lose any sleep over it? But then the guilt comes in, and it's like, what if there's a fight? And then I kept picturing, like, okay, she'll say, no, nothing is shrunk. And, like, she was on lack of sleep. I was on lack of sleep. That's like, she was in a bad mood going to sleep, and she was in a bad mood when she woke up. I figured she'd be in a bad mood when she woke up. And I was like, all right, well, you know what? She'll be real short with me and say nothing shrunk, but I won't believe it. And it's like, okay, that's exactly what came to be. And I prayed to God. I was like, God, I don't know how you're going to do this. And I thought about the line from the Bible, and it came to me, but from a voice outside of my own, where you hear something and it just intuitively comes to you, where it's like, I always equate that to the voice of God or a higher knowledge. And it said, through me, all things are possible. Do you believe that line? I said, of course I believe it. Okay, then why do you not believe that this can happen? It's like, well, I saw the shirts. They look shrunk. The clothes all look shrunk. It's like, okay, so I could raise from the dead after 3 days, but I can't, stretch out the fabric. It's like, yeah, but it's like, but you've seen it with a car. You felt and heard the car scrape. Why is this impossible? It's like, no, you're right. And then I relax and stuff. My heart's jackrabbiting. I'm sweating. My stomach's churning. I'm just feeling like throwing up. I feel horrible. I'm going into the whole story now, but it's a perfect example of, like, there's a time crunch. We're going to be up in less than 4 hours. I think I shrunk this. I feel bad, but it's like, break it down. It's not that important. Okay, it's not that important. Are all things possible? Yes, all things are possible. Can this be done? Do I have faith in? I don't have faith in myself at this point, but do I have faith in God? Yes. Do I have faith in my ability to do revision? Yeah, but in this case, something's blocking me. What's the difference between the clothes shrinking and the car getting scraped? It's like, there's no difference in it. But why is it freaking out? Sometimes we can't justify our insecurities or our fears in something. So I had to keep my mind straight. And it's like, all right, well, you know what? This is still going to work out. So I surrendered it to a higher power. And I've talked about that before. It's like, sometimes when you don't have faith in yourself, you surrender it up to God. It's like, okay, well, what do we identify God as? God is all powerful, all being, omnipresent, whatever. Omni means all, right? So it's like omnipresent, all knowing, whatever. Like, nothing is impossible. If you're Christian, you believe in Jesus and you believe, okay, he rose from the dead, he performed miracles, he raised other people from the dead. All things are possible. How many people pray and get miracles? How many people have visualized stuff and had miracles. How many people have done revision? Have I done it before? Yes. Have I succeeded with all these things? Okay, cool. You've unlocked another ability. The all is mind. Okay, focus on all is mind. And I woke up and I had that exact conversation with SP. I pictured my mom saying, I don't care. And I pictured SP saying, well, the shirt was kind of baggy on me anyway. It's better this way. And exactly what she woke up. She was still in a bad mood. She's like, what she says, she goes, no, none of them are shrunk. I'm like, check them. And then she's like, no, they look fine. I'm like, are you just saying that to make me feel good? This is the exact conversation I had in my mind multiple times over the course of 4 or 5 hours. And she goes, no, do I lie about stuff? I'm real with you. And I always tell you this and that. And I'm like, all right, well, whatever. If they shrink, let me know. And I'm finally trying to get some rest. I'm like, let me know. I'll replace them. And she goes, they're fine. And she goes, besides, if the one from your mom shrank, it's fine because it was a little bit big. I'm like, okay. And then my heart starts to slow down and relax because it's like, oh, that's exactly what I pictured. And then I told my mom, listen, hey, you know what? I may have shrank it. She goes, that's fine. I need new shirts anyway. It's just a shirt. Enjoy the time. I don't care about it. I want to make sure we're having a good time as a family. And sure enough, that's exactly what she said when I seen her. And both of them I've talked to after they've unpacked, and they said that their clothes are perfectly fine. And it was my brother will vouch for this. We looked at the clothes and said, this motherfucker's shit fucking shrank, dude. And he showed me his shirt that shrank, but he put it on. He goes, still fits. He goes, but it went down lost about an inch on it. If this is the bottom of one shirt, the other shirt's up here. But it was done. So, didn't overthink it. I mean, I overthink that certain situation, but it was trying to regulate the mind. And that's just a simple example of someone who's done this, someone who's had a lot of experience, someone who's coached other people through it, going through a situation where you have a time crunch, you need to get this stuff done, you need to strengthen up your belief system, and that's what I did. And I was able to put myself in that state of mind and work through it. So there's different things. Most people will be like, I don't care about that, and it's not a big deal. For me, that was a trigger for whatever reason. We'll have something that's going to feel impossible to us, but once you go through it, you grow through it, it's not really a big deal. So that's what I wanted to talk about there. I read this other note down. When all is lost and the only thing you have, when all is lost and you have nothing to lose, that leaves you with everything is to be gained. So what are you worried about? If all is already lost, what do you have to lose by thinking positively? I'll talk about, I got a comment on the channel. It was deleted the next day with a dude saying something about, what do you say? He goes, he wrote me an essay about, law of attraction is fake, law of assumption is fake, blah, 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 all this stuff, how wits end and people's businesses are failing, this and that. It's he highlighted all this stuff. You watched the movie The Secret, the guy talked about someone who wrote him. All this shit was negative. It's I'm a fuck up, I'm a failure, I'm this, I'm that. There was a time in my coaching, there was a time in all this stuff where I would sit there and have a pity party with you and I build you back up. And, there's a coaching technique to that where you sit there and you listen. And someone who actually wants to be helped, I'll sit there and I'll listen. And it's but there's someone who just wants to bitch and use me as a sounding board. And in the comment section, I'm not going to take that. My response was I was going to write out a whole response and redo his stuff. And it's you're not a paying client. You're not someone because that was the thing he accused me of. Oh, you're just about this for the money. And you guys know me. Those of you who've been watching for a long time, you know me. I hardly plug the coaching. If people ask for advice, it's usually I give it for free. I usually answer all the questions 99.9% of the time. I tell you, don't get a coach. I've got multiple videos saying you don't need a coach, but if you need one, I'm here. So, I tell this motherfucker, I could tell this motherfucker all this stuff. And I'm like, you know what? Why waste my energy? I've got a rule. Until I respond to all the positive comments on the channel, I can't respond to one negative one. Well, I broke the rule a little bit, and there wasn't really many things I haven't responded to. So I told the dude, I said, if you put a fraction of that negativity into being positive, you'd be a millionaire by now. If you put whatever I said, something if you put a fraction of that energy right there into focusing on making money instead of bitching on people's comments, you'd be a millionaire. And for me, I never had time to comment on anybody's stuff. I've never, unless it's a friend's post who's asked me to, hey, can you comment so I hit the algorithm? Can you do this? Or if I'm just fucking around, I want to joke with a friend on their post, or we collabed on a video, we'll throw some comments on there because it's just fun. But unless it's something really important, I'm not going to comment on something. I don't have time to sit there because something's not going well in my life until I got to figure my own shit out. What do I have to gain by being negative somewhere else? So that was just a point I wanted to make. Yeah, John, I love it when the answers come to you. Yeah, it's like when the answers just naturally come to you. It's, you're not looking, you're not, I need it. You're just trusting it's going to arrive. We're blocking ourselves when we're needing something. It's like, I need it. You're putting yourself in a manic, panic state of, I need to figure this out. I need it. It creates barriers. Barriers start to come up because it's like you need something and you're in this panic state. It's simulating a feeling of, hey, something's coming to stop me from these answers versus I need these answers and I'm going to get them and I'm going to give Neville these answers. Good night. And she goes to sleep. And then sure enough, there it is. Hey, Jen, what's up? Welcome back in. Good to see you. I know we talked a while back about, pretty sure it's the same Jen that I know. But yeah, you said you spend too much time worrying about it not working out, then you start chasing your SP. Yeah, it's like, oh, it's not going to work out. And then you start chasing because it's like, oh, it's, I need to do something. Most of the time, there's nothing you need to do. I talked to this, I went for a massage today and I talked about this with the massage therapist. I told her, I said, at one point in my life, I worked out 7 days a week. It's like 3-4 hours a day. It's like twice a day. The more working out I do, the better out in shape I'll be. But you're not giving your muscles a chance to recover. You're not giving yourself a chance to mentally recover when it comes to manifesting by trusting the process. A rest day and working out is a detachment day and manifesting. A day where you don't do anything because you don't need to do anything because you feel so impressed and self-regulated and calm in the fact that I've done whatever work I can, I've geared my mind the right way, and this feels natural to me. If I don't see anything today, then it's not a big deal. Stuff that was scary to me at one point happens to me now. I've been there, I've done it, I've seen this a million times. So that's why I said experience is the best teacher. Put yourself in an uncomfortable position enough times and trust that you're going to figure your way out of it. You are going to get there. You're going to figure your way out of it. It just might not come, right away, perfectly in your face. The longer something takes to figure out, the harder the road, the stronger you are, and the easier that is the next time it happens. In life, we go through cycles and periods of time that are cyclical, if you will. Like feels like you get a deja vu feeling with life. It's like, hey, I feel like I've been here before. This seems like very familiar. And you realize it's not a big deal. I've done this before. I've identified what the problem is. I've solved this problem like this before. Just like I said, in terms of like, oh, I feared I shrunk the clothes. Okay, you also feared you fucked up the car. That car thing was really intense. And I had an equally hard battle for a longer amount of time in my sleep that night, but I used the same approach. It's like, that was the thing that kept coming to me. You've done this before. You've been here before. What did you do? Here's what you applied, blah, 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 blah. Every time me and the old lady broke up, right? Metaphorically, not literally. Every time me and my SP broke up, it would be this whole thing of, all right, you've done this before. If this stuff really works, you'll see it. Don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. Relax. It's all working out. What did you do before? I did this, this, and this. Why did you do that? Because I heard it here, here, and here. How did it pan out? Well, it worked out because boom, 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 boom. All the inner dialogue played out. All the affirmations played out. All the scripting played out. All the visualizations played out. Whatever I saw before it happened, happened. And, I was just actually talking to my girlfriend about this, about, the remote viewing. And I've been doing this remote viewing app. And right now, I think I'm on day 3 with a perfect score. I'll find out day 3 score tomorrow. But pretty sure it's already a perfect score because almost exactly what I saw was on there. It's like I saw both pictures. But are you creating the image that's there? Supposedly it's already there. Everything's just auto-generated online. They give you a number and tell you it's going to correspond with one of 2 pictures. You don't know what the pictures are, and you're going to picture them. And I've always had an affirmation, I'm horrible at this stuff. But I do pretty well on the app. And it's like, am I creating the images before they're there? Because the thing is, you're picturing yourself in the future looking at the image. I don't picture myself looking at the image and seeing it. I picture myself getting the grade of you're correct on this app. It's like, oh, you've guessed it correctly. So am I creating being right? Or am I actually jumping in and psychically seeing an image? Truth is, I'm not really seeing an image. I just kind of relax and I let the things flow naturally, which is like a flow state. And it's like you start writing down words and words, and sometimes you see some things, and then next thing you know, it's there. So it's like, again, another form of something else, another metaphysical thing being proven to me and manifesting. I mean, I'm still investigating that. This is fun for me, but it is something I thought worth mentioning right now. Hey, Ratasha, love to see you in here. Glad you're tuning in. We're getting ready to wrap it up. If you guys get any questions now, you could ask them. I'll figure with my rambling about remote viewing, be a solid way to start wrapping stuff up. If you guys got questions, if you need coaching, the coaching will be down below. If you want to join the membership channel, there's 4 videos up now. There'll be a 5th one up now. Ratasha, thank you again for being a member. I see you popping up right there. I know Christy, she's a member as well. I haven't seen her in any of these lives yet, but I'm going to start doing some exclusive lives for the members as well. Maybe some more Q&A type stuff. There's a couple videos in the works with SP. She's sick today, so if you guys want to say some intentions for her feeling better, feel free. And she's in the Discord with us now as well. If you guys want to join Discord, the link for that will be below, and it's in all the videos. That's $7 a month. So if you guys want to join that, or if you want to join the Facebook group, extra content in the Facebook group, and then other extra content and writing in a manifesting group of people on the Discord. If you want coaching, that's down below. Website's up, where I got the coaching packages and stuff. We do DM coaching, stuff like that. If you got any other questions or you want to share a success story or anything, write it to mysticmanifesting@gmail.com. And yes, John, we will do. We're going to do a live stream on Wednesday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time on the Discord. Thank you for signing up on there too. I just saw you join the other day. No, Ratasha, I do not have a Facebook group. I hardly use Facebook. I think for me, I don't know. I feel Facebook's outdated. I go on there when people tag me in memes and stuff like that, but that's about it. Awesome, John. Yeah, it's up to you. You don't got to be on camera. If you want to be on camera, feel free. I'm on camera half the time if my hair is all crazy or I'm feeling bummy and my beard's all over the place. I won't turn on the camera. Sometimes I'll have the camera on and no one can see me. I don't know what that is, but I'll be around. If you want to do that, you could. Yeah, most people, they don't turn on their cameras. You'd be the first, actually. I'll turn mine on 90% of the time. But most people, they just do the audio. I feel like most people do their Discord off the phone. If you guys are having problems, I know quite a few of you have signed up for Discord or you've joined Discord, but then you didn't sign up. And if you don't want to be part of it and you see that it was paid or whatever and you didn't want to pay, I understand that. But if you're not able to join on mobile, let me know. I would appreciate that because it seemed like when I saw something that you couldn't do that, but I mean, it shouldn't be set up that way. Biggest thing is communication with me. Don't feel weird reaching out over email, or if you're having trouble booking a coaching session or you're having trouble with anything, like getting onto the Discord or wondering about the extra content on here, let me know. Again, mysticmanifesting@gmail.com. And if you guys got any questions on anything, let me know. We got a couple minutes left. If not, I'll start signing off in a few minutes. But I appreciate all you guys tuning in. Going to make a nice ChatGPT thumbnail after this. But with that, I think we'll wrap it up and give it one more minute. It always feels weird at this end where I'm waiting for questions, comments, concerns, video ideas. Yeah, if you guys got video ideas as well, email me those, comment them. I'll see the comments. Oh, well, hold on. We'll hold up then. Oh, you need a minute to type? Okay, we'll hold up for a second. Got a good friend of the show, as Tim Dillon would say right here. Thank you, B. You're also a member over on Discord. And B has shared some success stories with me as well. I appreciate those. He apparently has another one uh, that I will be hearing about sometime this week. And again, if you guys want to share any or you want to do them anonymously, you can email them to me and I'll share them anonymously if you want to motivate other people with them. I think that's always a positive reinforcement that helps a lot of people. What if you manifest a specific idea? It actually comes to reality, but it's not what you expect, or you realize it's not what you want anymore. Um, all right, I'm going to answer this in terms of, is this in terms of a person or a circumstance, or what is this in terms of? Because I think if I know the circumstances, it might be in terms of a specific person. But there is a thing, and it was an idea that Inc. brought up a while back called "fuck around, find out." Manifesting technique is what she was calling it. Um, Person, yeah. So whether it's a person or not, I mean, it applies in all ways. But sometimes it's like, she called it "fuck around, find out." I call it, be careful what you wish for. Um, Sometimes like we'll script out a perfect specific person, right? And I've talked about this before. I scripted out a specific person, during one of the breakups with SP, looks, everything right down to a T pretty much. And funny enough, while we're speaking about Inked, like we did a video where we were scripting out specific persons or whatever. I think it may have been on Discord or on here. I can't remember. One or the other. And Inked has red hair. And she goes, "Oh, why don't you pick somebody with red hair?" I'm like, "Oh, okay, I'll do that. I'll write it down." Funny enough, when I manifested this perfect specific person or whatever that fit the criteria, she fit everything on that list, and I show it to her. I'm like, and she goes, "Well, you wrote this." She was drunk at the time. This part what wasn't on the list was she was an alcoholic and a little bit off. And like, she had this. She was like already kind of buzzed, and she goes, "Why'd you write this about me?" I'm like, "No, this is a person I scripted out of thin air, and I met you like a couple days later or a day later, or whatever it was." And she's like, "What? That's weird." And I came up and actually the book's right here. I said, "Whatever I do based on what this book is, and I believe something's happened, I either write it down and it happens. I can't justify it. It is what it is." And there's like a Twilight Zone moment. I was like very theatrical with it. But like Ink says, "Fuck around, find out." It's like, okay, you found out. And it's like that woman was obsessed with me. She was off the wall, calling me all kinds of names, blowing up my phone. I went to the bathroom to go take a dump in another room because, I got a master bedroom with a bathroom and I got the bathroom for like the guests. I went to go take a dump in there because you have a lady at home and you don't want to take a dump in front of her or within smelling distance. It was a big meal that night. So I go over there to go take care of business. And she walked into my room and banged on my door and goes, "Are you calling your ex? Get off the phone with your ex." And it's like, okay, well, at this point, the woman's already seen me naked. So I open the door. I'm like, "What do you want? I'm taking a dump." And I'm like, "What you don't know about me is I play on my phone while I'm dumping. Something that should take 5-10 minutes is 30 minutes. I gotta check the memes from the boys in the group chat." Anyway, maybe I'm the crazy one. But it was something, okay, you wrote it down, you manifested it. Is it really what you want? I've had a lot of people get their specific persons back and say, "I don't want them anymore." It's a lot of times the ego is what's manifesting these things. You want it so bad to prove it, and it's like, okay, you proved it, it's here, but is it really what you wanted? And again, I know you're into the bodybuilding world as me. A thing I learned from Mike Menser, and it was not manifesting related, but it fits really well when he talks about why do you want to be a bodybuilder? Everybody wants the muscles and to look good and to be cool and be the biggest guy in the room and stuff like that. But the true reason you're doing it is a sense of accomplishment. And I take it a step further. What is the reason you're manifesting a specific person or manifesting a relationship? It's because you want to feel loved. You give it to yourself first. You feel accomplished first. You do a set in the dark with your pump cover on at the dungeon. Nobody sees that set happen, but you experienced it and you went through that hell and you feel accomplished. That's the same feeling you would feel on stage hitting an overall most muscular pose and everyone clapping and then getting a perfect score on the Olympia stage. You want to feel that accomplishment right there in the gym where nobody saw it, where you didn't even see it because your pump cover was so big and baggy you can't even see it. You want to feel that love while you're sitting in an empty house alone, eating your meal Eating your dinner after a long day of work, you're eating it as if there is someone there giving you that love because you feel that love for yourself. The world is a mirror. You're going to experience it first. So, to answer your question, it's okay, more than okay, that once you've manifested something, a person, a job, a place, whatever it is, and not wanting it anymore. In terms of like a job, the last job I had, like I said, I told them the guy who was least likely to leave would be the one to leave. I told them that I would be the next engineer. I told them that, I'm going to move up. I'm going to finish my apprenticeship, and this will be where my next job is. Usually you're supposed to find another job. And I'm like, I would be here. And then everyone would laugh because they didn't think that guy would leave. He left. Months later, I was, by the time he left, it took a few months to play out, but he left. I moved up. And then I started joking, I'll be on the day shift. And the day shift usually takes years to get onto. The guy who was ahead of me decides to leave about 10 months later. He leaves, so I'm due to go up to the day shift. But in the meantime, my life was made a living hell, and I was forced to stick on a shift I didn't want. And that's the story I told you guys, where I was packing up my locker every night. I was carrying all my tools home. I was feeling like every day, whenever I was feeling overwhelmed or anxious, I'm like, today's my last day. Today's my last day. And I would get myself, again, a time times and a half. I was repeating it again and again until I got to that point of feeling, and then I would shut it down, and all the negativity would fall away because it's like, it's my last day. What am I stressed about? And I would treat every day as if it was my last. Now it took 6 months to unfold. And was it easy? No, it wasn't easy. It sucked ass. Like, I gave up faith on it. I stopped packing up the locker at a certain point, but I just kept holding it to like the best I could hold on to it. And I still left. So I undid the manifestation of being employed at that place as the lead engineer on days. I gave it up, but it was something I wanted. And I kept saying, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go somewhere else better. And it's going to have all the same stuff. And I would vocalize it every day, telling whoever would listen, or to myself, I would just play with the idea. And sure enough, I got myself into a better place. But it was something I really wanted. And I was like, you know what? Wouldn't it be wonderful if I had something where it was less work than this, even better people, cooler place, laid back atmosphere and things like that? And then sure enough, that manifested into reality. So yeah, you can manifest something you don't want, but sometimes it's good to do it just to see, I wonder what this would be like. You play with the idea enough in your head, you focus on it, you stay determined to it. And it's like, you get there, it's like, we'll use bodybuilding as an example again. It's like you get there, you do a competition, you step on stage. Or I got a friend who did that. Doesn't even know if he's going to step on stage again, but he did it. And it's like, okay, now you're in a position of, do I want to do this again? Was it all that it was cracked up to be? It was fun. It was challenging. It was accomplishing. Do I want to do it again? No. Okay, well, no one can take away from the fact that I did it. Or, yeah, you know what? Now, like we said earlier, it's not as scary because I could do it again. So in your case of specific person, you could script a new specific person out of thin air and it won't be a big deal. Write them out. And it's like, hey, and this person's like real hyped up on you and obsessed with you. Just be like, hey, you know what? Write them a letter, like we do a letter technique and say, just like a third party would be scripted away. Script away that person. You know what? I don't wish you well. Thank you for the time. Thank you for helping me prove manifestation. I love you very much. I appreciate your time. Great person, blah, blah, blah. Script it and let them go. Don't actually send the letter. This was something brought up to me the other day. Someone's like, do you send these letters to people? No, you don't send the letters from the letter technique to anyone. You crumple them up, you throw them out, you fold them up, put them under your pillow, under your blanket, under your bed, burn them, whatever you want to do with them. Do not actually send them to the people. But that's dealing in the 3D. Just don't do that. Everything is mind first. Whatever the mind can conceive and truly believe, it will be played out in this world. Thank you, John. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing in life. We always got to keep moving up. And the more you sit still, it's like it's fine to sit somewhere and enjoy a part of life for a while. For lately, I've been feeling, hey, it's cool to be sitting around lazy, this and that, but I'm getting that itch. I'm getting that I got to move. I got to do something. I got to level up in life. So I'm moving towards that now. It's like you start taking action towards that. But that's the thing, realizing that there's no pressure on anything. Everything is always working out in your favor. But hopefully that answers your question, B. Thank you, everyone who's commented. Thank you guys for stopping in. With that, B, you helped me make it to over an hour, so I appreciate it. With that, love you guys very much. I will see you next Monday. We'll be back to noon. I'll be live next Monday at noon. We'll be live. If you join on the Discord, the link will be down below. Join on Discord. We'll be live Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Don't know if we're going to do a group meditation or not. Depends how many people show up. Too many people might be hard to do. But we usually got about an hour or more on there, hour and a half. But with that, love you guys very much, and I will see you Wednesday or next Monday, or you'll see me, but I won't see you on some videos. And if you want to join the membership channel, there'll be a new video this week. All right, with that, love you guys. See you in the next one.